Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Talking Ball with JR, and we are back with another episode. And oh my, what a start of round 32. Let's get into it and let's talk about it because this was an amazing start for the knockout rounds, and this got me hyped. But before we get started, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it's free 99, so help a brother out. Starting off with Brazil's victory over Japan, and this game had my heart beating way too fast for Brazil's first knockout game. But honestly, I expected a very tough game. If you guys were in the stream, I actually said that Japan would score first and Brazil would turn the game around and win 2-1, which was the correct score. I know I'm gonna give myself a little pat on the back. You know what I'm saying? Where my round of applause? Where my round of applause? Thank you very much. But this game actually has me excited. This game actually put more faith in Don Carlo for me. Because I don't know if you guys knew this, but Brazil hadn't won a game that they were trailing since 2002. Every time I've seen Brazil go down in a World Cup, I think it's over. And a little bit of that feeling came when Japan scored, right? Casemiro was looking terrible. Danilo looked terrible. Paquetá didn't look good at all. You know, I was concerned. Ryan, my son Ryan was not playing all that great. And I was concerned. I thought, here we go again. We're going to get eliminated and we're going to go back like, what the hell is Brazil? Stop talking about us as a powerhouse, stop calling us, a former world champions. Take away our 5 stars if we lose Japan. Now, Japan's obviously a really strong team, and they expect them to come out and play. That's not what happened. Japan sat back. They played on a counterattack. They got their first goal, and I was worried. Went into halftime, and I was like, we got to make changes. I was calling for Fabinho. I was calling for a change, maybe Hayan to come off. Like, I was expecting more changes, right? I expected something to be different going into the half. But then the team comes out and I still see Casemiro on a yellow card coming out, and he had a nightmare of a first half. I see that Paquetá's coming out for Endrick, and that got me a little bit hyped. But I was worried. I was like, what the hell are we going to do? And in the second half, we looked so much better. I don't know if Don Carlo went up to Casemiro in the halftime and said, hey, watch yourself, told him like, yo, play the clean game. Don't do nothing rash. Don't do nothing stupid. And just play your game because I need you. And it seems like he was right. Nah, it seems. It definitely, he was right. I think everybody in Brazil was complaining about why the hell Casemiro was on the field still. And then he goes out there and scores the freaking tying header. And then right after that, we kept going with the pressure. I honestly thought that we were going to be sitting back now and just go back to the first half. And I thought that's exactly what was going to happen. But in the second half, we continued to go after them. We switched to a 4-4-2 when Endrick came in, and we just kept the pressure on. We kept the pressure on. And I was calling for changes. And when I saw Gabriel Martinelli come out, again, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? We're bringing Gabriel Martinelli. We need to win this game. We're bringing Gabriel Martinelli. And then, what does he do? He goes out there, plays a position that he's not used to playing in Arsenal. It's not, people were calling it the left side 8, but it wasn't really left side 8. He was playing the second striker. And he was playing right next to Endrick and dropping into those little pockets of space. And he gets the ball, and he has a beautiful finish to the bottom right corner. Suzuki had a phenomenal game. He somehow got his hand even on that goal. Honestly, this game probably would have gotten a lot better for Brazil if Suzuki wasn't in net. Japan would have had problems. But honestly, I'm happy. I'm happy with this victory. I knew it was going to be a tough victory, but this is a victory that we needed. We needed, as a Brazilian fan base, and I think as a Brazilian group, to go out there and now feel like, yo, our team can turn games around. Because usually that's not our story. Usually if we're going down, we're losing the game. So I'm very proud of how we looked. I'm very proud of what Don Carlo did. Don Carlo made the changes that needed to be done. And he's a knockout manager. He's a guy that's able to change things and be able to, make decisions on the fly. And that's what we brought him in for. We needed a high-tier manager that can do that, and he did his job amazingly well. So shout out Don Carlo, and shout out Brazil for going on to the next round. And the game that shocked the whole world, Germany versus Paraguay, and Paraguay go out there and beat Germany on penalties in the most dramatic penalty shootout I've ever seen. It had me on the edge of my seat. It had me screaming my lungs off. I was so excited during these penalty shootouts. I didn't care who won this game because I don't think Germany was all that great even before the Paraguay game. So I didn't care if Germany went through. But seeing a team like Paraguay go through makes it even better. That's what the World Cup is about, right? We always talked about what are the upsets that happen. And I bet you this could probably be the biggest upset that we have in a round of 32. Maybe, something happens. Maybe Sweden beats France. I don't know. Maybe Cape Verde beats Argentina and that could take over. But right now, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to say that this is probably the biggest upset that we'll have in the knockout stage. And Germany are going home off of not that great of a World Cup. Obviously, they won 7-1 in Curacao, and I know a lot of Germany fans were excited about that. And I came out in this video, and I said, Germany isn't that good. They won 7-1, but they're not that great. I was like, if you watch the game, they will be exposed. If they play a decent game, well, not a decent game, I'll play against a decent opponent, they will get exposed. And that's exactly what happened here. They got exposed, and they couldn't do anything. They have no creativity. Musiala on the bench to start the game was outrageous to me. And then I don't know how to say his name, but Julio Incenzo, the guy that was a Chelsea player for about 2 minutes and then became a Strasbourg player. He played a phenomenal game. Paraguay played a phenomenal game defensively. They did exactly what they needed to do. They played a rough, rigid game, a terrible, quote unquote terrible game. And they went out there playing for pens, right? That's what it seemed like. They were trying to either sneak out a 1-0 victory or play for pens. Once Germany tied it up, it was like, here we go. We're going to play for penalties. And they did exactly that. And they won a penalty shootout against Germany the most dramatic way. They had 2 chances to go out there and win it, and they missed both of them. And then Jonathan Tah steps up to the spot and absolutely skies the ball. And then Paraguay go out there and finish the game and move on to the next round. And I am actually very, very excited for this Paraguay team. I think they even had a national day off after the victory or a further day of the game. So shout out to them. Shout out to the Paraguay fan base. And shout out to them for absolutely being electric and bringing electricity to this World Cup and absolutely starting off this World Cup with a banger, knocking out Germany. And obviously they're not a powerhouse anymore, Germany, I would say, but they are still a very strong side. And Paraguay, I don't think anybody had them winning against Germany. I had Germany win this comfortably. But Germany, questions had to be asked. Questions had to be asked. Once I saw, Havertz on the 10 and Undev on the striker, I had already questions. Leroy Sané played almost all 90 minutes. He played, I think, the most minutes out of any German player in the whole, World Cup. And he didn't look all that great this World Cup. And I don't know why he was starting. Honestly, if they wanted to play with Havertz at the 10, they probably should have put Musiala on the right or something and gone from there, because you can't take away Musiala. I'm sorry. Musiala, even if with the way Musiala is, he could have a terrible game and then in an instance change the game around and flip the game around. You can't take out a player like that and only bring him in the second half. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't. So Nagelsmann, I don't know what your fate, what your fate would be in this national team, but honestly, I think it's time for you to go. I think it's time for you to go, because this German team is it's a strong side. If you look at it on paper, it's a strong side, but I think it's time to wrap it up. And Neuer, I'm sorry, but I don't think Neuer can cut it anymore, boys. I'm sorry. After this World Cup, I don't think he can. I think Neuer, it's time to hang out the boots, my boy. You're looking like Buffon at PSG. That's what it reminds me. Netherlands, Morocco, and Morocco has added to the drama, and I cannot believe that Netherlands have gone out the way they did. Wow. Oh, wow. I thought Netherlands was going to have a very strong World Cup campaign. I didn't think that Morocco was going to make a noise like they did in 2022. I thought that they were going to be, a little shaky, the way that they looked against Brazil, even Scotland. They didn't look all that great to me. I thought they were going to have trouble. And Netherlands almost had the game won. It was 1-0. Diop goes out there and scores a beautiful header from a beautiful cross in the 90th minute, going out there and getting a header in the 90th minute and drawing the game at that moment. You have all the momentum on your side, right? You're going to extra time. Now you got faith. Now you're like, here we go, boys. They're done mentally. They thought they had a victory in their bag. They thought they had a 1-0 victory. We tied it up, and now we can go out there and win. And they did that. They went out there in penalties. They kept the composure. Well, not really, because they missed a whole lot of pens. But they kept composure and won the game. And Morocco have moved on. And now, will we repeat the 2022 World Cup? I don't think so. But I think they will give anybody trouble, and I think that they will have a chance to go in deep into this World Cup. Now, guys, with that being said, I can't wait for the rest of these round 32 games. I hope there's more upsets. I'm hoping Cape Verde beat Argentina. I'm hoping Congo beat England. I'm hoping, who else? Sweden beat France. I'm hoping for the easiest World Cup path for Brazil ever, and we're lifting up the 6th trophy. That's what I'm hoping for in reality. That's really, I'm being a biased fan here, okay? So if I'm cheering up against your team, it's nothing against them. It's just mostly because I want my team to do better. So guys, that's it for me today. Deuces. Goodbye. Peace.